Hello and welcome back to Where Wendy Travels, Where Wendy Creates. Today I want to work on some snippets and some clusters and some different ephemera that we're going to put in our junk journals. And this is one that I may or may not have showed you. It's from the Paper Studio, Hobby Lobby. It was a haul, normally $5.99. I got for $1.49. And I thought we could decorate a couple of these up at the same time we're making the snippets and the clusters and see what we come up with for decorating those. And also, I wanted to share with you my little bag of treasures that I'm not sure what's in. We got it out of a storage bin in the closet. And we're going to take a look and see how we might be able to use these. Purple buttons, very light purple buttons. We have some thank you, surprise, celebrate birthday. Love those. Look at these, that metal heavy look. Celebrate, surprise, believe, life's journey. These are very nice as well. Metal pieces. Oh, and look at these. Generations. Different buttons there from Memory Mates. Dress it up. Looks like some almost metal-looking pieces in the back there as well. Love that little key. Okay, so we're going to tear into all of these. Looks like I've got a stamp here. Let's hopefully, have some good ink left in that. Some outdoorsy, hiking, adventure, life's journey. Little, looks like buttons. I can turn those into different fun memorabilia on different pieces as well. They're definitely metal. A little heart stamp. We'll see how we can put that into play. Oh, look at these lovelies. Insert photo here. So we can add little photo textures to these metal little pieces. Looks like a My Girl license plate. That's kind of cute. We'll see how we can put that in a junk journal. Looks like just some plain index cards we'll play with. And some pink buttons. Okay, so let's get down and see what we're going to do first. Okay, so I thought first of all we would take our stamp pad and our envelope and maybe just go ahead and take the edges and age them a little bit with our ink pad. Just getting that tiniest little bit of aging around the edge, taking off that newness. And done right a lot of times, you don't even know all of the steps that go into making good pieces for your junk journal. You just look at that beautiful finished product and just admire it and be inspired by it. But it's nice to see the whole process from start to finish, just showing some of that aging look and how that all comes together. That each piece has so much detail and so much that goes into it. I think I'm going to have to get my brush to do this properly. Okay, so we've taken some of the edges and just made slight change on them, adding a little bit of that grunge, a little bit of that aging appearance. And I'm going to start on all these papers that I made a mess on the table with. And I thought maybe we would just start taking them and giving them some points. Thought about ripping some, but I think I'm going to keep some straight. And we're just going to start gluing those together. Give them a few minutes to dry. And we can use any kind of craft glue that we have, fabric and paper glue. Just see how these look. And just a dab of glue. Taking them, making a little stack of those, so then we can do our next step. We're going to do quite a few of these so that we can start building on them. Of course, the more glue you put, they may stick better, but the longer it will be for them to dry. So when I put them together, I'm just going to smush them a little bit, thin out that glue goober that we put on there so they dry a little bit quicker. That's a pretty one. Put that on the top of one. I like that. And again, we're kind of getting rid of the Christmas and just keeping some of the color there because we're going to be using these with regular journals that don't have to be a holiday theme. Because although we should have Christmas in our hearts all year long, we don't have to have them in our scrapbooks all year long. And again, we're just taking them, sticking them down, drawing them to the side, going to the next one. Next one. Couple more of these like this. And then I think we're going to try some. Got a stack of those going. We're going to try some and we're going to be tearing the edge. And when we tear these, we're going to tear towards us so we get that white edging, because that's the edging that we're going to then put on the stamp pad to give it a little bit of aging. Because we want clusters and twinchies and snippets in all different colors, all different kinds, all different sizes, and our different books. So I thought, while I had all the material together, I'm just going to take these and make about 50 of them. And that way I can pull out the shoebox that I store these in and put these on wherever they fit in the journal. Once I think I've got the journal pretty much put together. And I can also turn some of these into altered paper clips because it's the same concept between the snippets and the clusters. And all this paper that I'm tearing off, we can actually take this, tear it into a few smaller pieces. We can put it in our blender and we can make some paper. And we're going to show you how I make homemade paper with that as well. But that is a future video. That we are not doing today. Because I do like to lay them outside. And we're expecting some pretty cold temperatures coming up. And again, any way you want to tear the edges is perfect. Let's go ahead and start putting some of these together so you get the idea. I'm going to put all of these in a pile so we can take those and put those in our jar that I use as the blender. All right, so then we want to decide how we can put these together. And we're going to use some of our laces and some of our ribbons. This is another Hobby Lobby that I got. Ivory, normally $2.99. I got it for 74 cents. And it's 4 yards. So that's going to make quite a few for us. And I'm going to use our scissors to get into this because I'm not feeling the edge. Nope, not feeling the edge. So we're just going to be careful not to rip the lace. And if we do, it doesn't really matter because we're using small pieces in our snippets anyway. take that plastic off. And once we do that, the lace comes off real freely. And then we're going to see how long or how short we want some of these pieces. So we're just going to make some into nice little pieces. Because again, I told you, we're doing many of these snippets that we may turn into altered altered paper clips as well. So we're going to take that lace, we're going to set that up out of the way. And we've got these pieces. And we can decide how we want to put these down on the papers as well, with buttons, with ribbons, different things. But let's take these and go ahead and glue those onto some of the pages. I might keep some of the back pages. Oh, and look at that. I started doing it without putting the die around the edges. So since I glued that one, we're going to go ahead and fix that one down. And then we're going to go ahead and put some of this on the edges. And I might not want to use this peach, this seashell peach Bellini. It looks like it's coming out more of an orange color. So after I finish this one, I think I'm going to switch ink pads to get something along that duller, more aged look that I'm wanting. Okay, so let's throw that into the drying pile and see what other ink pad I have here. Looks like this is Stampability's ink pad dye. It looks like it's a brown. So let's see how it looks on the edges of these papers. That looks way too dark for me. Way too dark there for me. That doesn't look like it's going on as well as I need anyway. I'll use a brush. Let's see if I have any others close. I have a Gathered Twigs. Just, oh, if that is still wet, that looks like a much better color. Let's take another piece. Okay, I think I'm going to like this one a lot better. So let me go ahead and grab one of my sponges here. And you can just take a makeup sponge, or you can take a dabber, your paintbrush, whatever you're comfortable using. I'm just going to go ahead and take a makeup sponge, and I'm going to start using those on the edges of my papers. And I just want to turn that darker a little bit. I like that. Okay, much, much better. It's almost a green. So we'll see how that looks. Looks good on that green piece. I did have a very light brown, tannish beige that I really liked using, and it seemed to have walked away from my crafting supplies. So I might have to chase it down. And I hope all of you had a very Merry Christmas. And I hope you're finding different ways, such as this, to use up your different crafting supplies when you've got your scrapbook photos all affixed down in your books. This is a great way, using 20s, changing some of that Christmas paper into everyday journal snippets and pieces. That looks really good on that green. What do you think? I like that a lot. I think that looks real well. Okay, so let's set that aside. That's all the ones that I had torn up. And let's see how some of these ribbon and other pieces look on them. Here's my ink pads. Decide which pieces I want to put them with. Really like that red. And sometimes I hand stitch these. I sew these with a sewing machine. Sometimes I just use the glue. You'll normally catch me using the sewing machine But again, I just wanted to quickly put some pieces together and get these filling up my shoebox so I could pull them out at will. So we're just starting this first piece. Kind of like the letters behind that. That's nice. And again, on a twinchie, a cluster, a snippet, I like to have at least 4 different pieces. And I like the flat edges. I like the torn edges. I like the fabric edges. I like the lace. I like using a button, a piece of metal, different things, a fabric stacked on there. Oftentimes you'll catch me making the snippets out of fabric because I don't like anything to go to waste. I like to always use all those pieces from any and every project. In my journals or in sewing projects. Looks a little Christmassy. We've really got to tone that one down. Okay. Oh, I like how that blends. It's kind of bold. I want it that bold. This piece, I haven't seen that piece before. I think I'll use that piece. It's kind of interesting. Okay, we're going to let those dry a couple of moments, and we're going to look at what other goodies I can put on those. Might even use some of my tea-stained tags to create some of this as well. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And I think we need a couple more pieces to play with out here. So let's go ahead and take a look at gathering a couple more ribbons. Again, $1.99, normally $7.99, 2 inches by 2 yards. Open this up. So, elegant piece this is. I really like that. And we're going to cut off some pieces. I think we're going to cut some right at the edges there. Some of them will have a little larger, some of them a little smaller. And again, add some nice texture and body on those snippets. Okay, and what else do we have we want to play with? I've got some more right here. Let's put this one away. That might be the strings for some tags. I like that one. Real cheap, nice. And that looks like white. Probably should have tea-stained that first. Let's put a couple of these on, and maybe this one as well. Both from Hobby Lobby. Oops, sorry about that. Looks like this one, $1.24, 2 yards, normally $5. This one we paid $1.74, normally $7. Much better. Still jet, small 2 yard amount. Let's open this. Love my Hobby Lobby hauls. I tell you, I sometimes overdo it when I find a clearance in Hobby Lobby. I help them out by clearing out last year's merchandise to get new, because we use these on all of our boho journals and junk journals. I use these in my scrapbooks. We use these on our fabric projects. I think I'll make some with 3 here. That is so cute, so pretty. You've seen how darling this is. This is just absolutely adorable. I really like that. So let's take a chunk of that and just set it down. We'll decide what sizes we want. Get that back out of the way. And let's open this one. Plastic just doesn't want to always come off. All right, and there we go. Let's get a hunk of that and decide how we're going to use that on these as well. Okay, so we have some nice different pieces to use. Really, really glam these up a bit. And I think I'm going to take this piece and probably on these tags, I can use up to 4. Kind of like that stretched all the way across there. So I'm glad I didn't cut these into smaller pieces. And then I'm going to cut them into 4. We can cut them down as we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then I want something up here more. I don't think I need all of those, but those two look brilliant. And then, let's open up that punch. Let's see how I get into this baby. Not sure where or when I got this. It was in that collection that I opened. Let's see if we can make some red hearts here. See what that looks like. Just thumb press that down. Oh, how fun. Mess that one up a little bit. Okay, so we trim some of those out. And then it's got a little holder down here. Slide that off. Take those punches. Put my little case back on. And let's see. Little dabble do ya. If we can just put a couple of droplets right there. Put those little hearts right on it. We'll let that one dry. What do you think? Put my hearts right on top of it. That is sweet. Kind of want those hearts to show. Let's go ahead and use glue on this one, shall we? Gonna get that piece right in the middle. And this one right on top of it. And we're going to let that one glue. We're just going to let that one set. Okay. Let that one dry. And again, I'm impatient, and that's why I like using the sewing machine. But everybody doesn't have a sewing machine, so it's nice to have some of these where we just let them, and I'm going to put them right here so y'all can see them as they dry, and we finish up a few more of these. And I'm going to take some of these some more bling to it, more depth. And when you put glue on as well, sometimes it makes it harder to stitch through later. So when you start with glue, oftentimes you want to keep and stay with glue through the whole project. And again, it's just using our scraps, mainly, and creating interesting little clusters to then add to our junk journals. And this glue does dry clear, so we'll know when it's dry when it's clear. And some of these tags, I didn't start using these either. If I could get these open. These, I think, are little pads that brides can use, kind of like on their gift list, of different things that they want, or collection from the editors of brides magazines. Kind of neat. Love it. So we might use a few, kind of like that one as it is. As it is, tag. Maybe put some lace on it. Right up here. And we can keep adding and keep adding and keep adding to these. We never have to be finished. That's one great thing about snippets and clusters. You can always come back and add more. One piece going up, one piece going across. Let that dry. Might put a button or something on top of that. Oh, I like that on the edge. Off the edge is perfect. It's gorgeous. Oh, that's royal. Look at this one. What do you think? That looks royal to me. Let's do that. And if you don't have loot from Hobby Lobby clearance or a bunch of ribbon, you can do this with fabric, you can do this with yarn, paper. If you have an old blouse that you absolutely loved, and it's stained or you can't get stain out, no longer fits, cut it up. Use it in your junk journal. Keep it as a memory. I love that. Okay, that looks really, really good there. Okay, let's see what we want to do with this one. Now we cut out some with 2. It kind of hides too much, but if we have it down like this where half of it shows, I think that adds a lot of elegance down there. But I might want to cover it up top. Well, let's put that down and then we'll decide how to do it next. because I do like that about halfway down. Beautiful. Oh, I like that one. I want to use some of the lace. Oh my goodness, well maybe just as simple as my glued finger puts it. Right there. Almost like two eyes and a face, isn't it? That's funny. Let's put some of that down. Maybe a little more glue. Again, that does dry clear. I really want that stuck. What do you think? Almost like a little owl, isn't it? Let's use another one of these. Maybe a possibility. What do you think? Let's use a possibility. Possibility. It's kind of nice just right there. Maybe a button, sequins. Maybe sequins on that one. I don't have them out, so let's put that so it can dry and we can decide. Fill up some space over here. And that one, that needs some more bling. That is so cute, isn't it? I almost want to straight edge that one. Oof, what do they do? Okay, a little sponge. That white, if we leave the white on the edges, sometimes it just pops too much and detracts from the rest of what's around it. And that's why a lot of us take that edge and we blend it down, we age it down, we make it look like it belongs there instead of really popping out like a one-off like it doesn't belong. That kind of clashes, but maybe with some lace on top of it, we can bring it back down a bit. I'm not sure. Let's put this down and see what we want to do next. Okay, so we have the straight edges on the two of these, the torn, muted edges in the middle. Still got to work on that quite a bit, I think. Let's put it over there. Now, maybe I want a longer. Now that tones it down a lot. That looks a lot better. And then maybe some beads and some things on top of that lace. Let's go ahead and put that lace down. Let it start drying. I like that lace because that tones down that blue-green color quite a bit and makes it look much, much better. Okay, let's see what else we have over here. And again, that green coming through. How do I want to edge this? Just looks like it overpowers it a little too much. Maybe coming down off of that. And I think maybe I like that. And then a button right in the middle right there. Let's see how we can get that affixed down. And the glue comes right up through that little lace. See how it's pushing up through my fingers. And I'm hoping that's going to be enough to tie this one down. And then I might just do a slow stitch right through the middle with a button on top to help secure it from turning the pages and playing with it or making it into an altered paper clip or anything else. So that's a nice start. Okay, let's make some more room up here. And look at that blue-green, kind of matches with those flowers. So I think I might get a few flowers out and some of the smaller ones. See if I want to go ahead and start playing with them or not. And they're paper, so they'll glue real well. Probably better than the lace. Let's do that. Let's get some lace down here. And then I'm thinking a flower and a flower. Let's put that lace down. And again, there's no rhyme or reason. It's what looks good to you, how you want to see your creation. Got a couple of those stuck together there. And again, a lot of these, they're always a work in progress till I put them in the junk journal. And then in my opinion, once they're in the junk journal, they're still a work in progress because I still alter them up quite a bit after that usually. Put that there, let it dry a bit. Okay, looks like we've got 4 more of these and a bunch of stuff to play with still. And I just truly love that lace. I just think it's so much. And with that little bit of color behind it, it really makes it pop, I think. Let's take that. How did we want to have that? I think we wanted that right like there. And maybe one of these flowers right on top. Do another dab. Another dab of glue. I think I need my 2 more hands and what do you think? We'll let him dry. I like the white on the white. I might even have that tuck around there and hang. Maybe have that double-sided. I like that. Now that's something I would normally sew, and I'm not going to be sewing, so let's just pull it over here. Cut it maybe right where it looks like it is going to wrap around the paper. I like it. Let's do that. I think that's the front of the hearts. Right there, it's going to dry clear. And we'll pull those little strings off. Maybe even tuck the corners once that starts to firm up and be dry. Not sure if that looks good or that's too much, but we can pull that puppy off if we decide. What do you think? And again, we just wanted to get started with some of the snippets because I was running low in my collection, and I thought it would be fun to play with today. So I don't know if I want to go along with the stripes or go counterclockwise with the stripes. I'll do that. And I've got them cut out and I love them so much. I think I'm just going to put that there and this across the top. Again, lucky for me, it dries clear, and I want it to stick on there permanent, so I am gooping it up with more glue than normal. Plus, I'm just using the Elmer's instead of using the fabric glue. What do you think? All right, lay that down here to dry, and we got 1 more cut ready for something. What do we want? Maybe just some elegant lace laid over that. That's right side up. Just hiding that some. What do you think? That way you've got that star. Maybe just gluing the top of this down. Letting the rest dangle. And again, that's going to dry clear. But maybe we'll put this piece up here anyway. All right, what do you think? I like it.